forecast you just gave us, but also the morning commute, which is already off to a bit of a rough start. This is the interstate near mile marker 124, so not too far from the Corkscrew Road exit. You could actually see it right there past all of the taillights of those cars. Excuse me, while we have plenty of drivers out and about, this is not one of the areas where we are tracking a crash. Switching over to maps, I can show you it's actually closer to Daniels Parkway where we are dealing with the crash, but it's the northbound lanes that are being affected here by the crash. Still, though, my sensors are just picking up those delays in the southbound lanes. That's going to just be typical bumper-to-bumper traffic. Northbound lanes, there is no roadblock associated with that crash. As we head on out to Lehigh Acres, also dealing with the crash here, Daniels and State Road 82. We are seeing delays in both directions of Daniels as you are headed northwest, southeast, and southbound right along Daniels Parkway. That's your morning traffic. It's busy and it's also wet out there, so this is contributing to a lot of crashes that we are dealing with right now. Trent, not tracking any crashes here, though. This is I-75 near mile marker 123, so this is the Corkscrew Road on-ramp and the northbound, southbound off in the distance. See a lot of traffic zooming on by, but at least we're not dealing with any major delays. Speaking of delays, let's talk about some of these crashes. We do have two. One is going to be at Treeline Avenue right near Dartington Drive. We are dealing with some delays, especially southbound along Treeline Avenue. As we move a little further west, dealing with a crash here, Daniels Parkway at Cross Creek Boulevard, Daniels Parkway westbound in the yellow right there. Out to Lehigh Acres, we do have a crash. State Road 82 and Daniels Parkway, this intersection always busy. This time of the morning, factor in a crash. We're seeing delays in all directions. Also dealing with the crash here at Orifice Drive and Buckingham Road. It's Buckingham Road westbound as you're getting closer to Lee Boulevard that is picking up the brunt of those delays. Also dealing with a lot of crashes over in Collier County. We'll go over those new ones coming up in your next traffic report. Ryan? Morning commute, and we're off to a bit of a rough start. Looks like we do have a bit of a traffic situation happening along Bayshore Road just before the I-75 on-ramp. We have someone under the car. Hopefully they're trying to work on it here and get this thing started because it is causing some delays as you are headed along Bayshore Road. Switching over to maps, though, Collier County, which is typically quiet this time of the morning, dealing with multiple crashes. So we do have one, Randall Boulevard, 8th Street. We are seeing some residual delays along Immokalee Road. As we head a little bit further to the west, dealing with the crash at Immokalee Road and Heritage Bay Boulevard, we're seeing delays in both directions. If you live in the Golden Gate area, we do have a crash at Golden Gate Boulevard and 7th Street. We are seeing delays in both directions of Golden Gate Boulevard as well. Lee County, we went through a lot of the crashes you're dealing with about 10-15 minutes ago. And also another way to gauge how your morning commute is going to be the Lee County Bridge Times Midpoint Bridge. Already starting to see that time tick up in the orange from Cape Coral to Fort Myers. So if you're headed eastbound, that stretch going to take you almost 10 minutes right now. Time right now is 7:54 on the dot. You're watching Fox 4 Morning News. It's been terrible out on the roadways. Looks like we're at least dealing with just a stalled vehicle here. This is not going to be a crash. This is Bayshore Road as you're getting off at I-75. They're mostly off to the side of the road, so it is allowing traffic to move on by. So at least it's not going to slow you down too much if you're getting off of the interstate. Still, though, plenty of crashes to talk about over in Lee County. Let's get right to it. One of the first crashes I want to talk to you about, this is Treeline and not too far from Daniels Parkway. So right at Dartington Drive and Treeline southbound, you have those delays southbound really starting to back up all the way to Plantation Gardens Drive. Daniels Parkway westbound dealing with a lot of morning congestion as well. Headed on over to Lehigh Acres, dealing with the crash at State Road 82 and Daniels Parkway. Seeing delays in all directions, but there is no roadblock reported with this crash. Looks like the one crash we had along Buckingham Road that has since cleared up, so that's good news. I want to head down to Collier County, just touch on a couple of new crashes for you. Immokalee Road at Heritage Bay Boulevard, we are seeing delays westbound right along Immokalee Road. Also dealing with the crash at Immokalee Road and Wilson Boulevard. We're seeing delays westbound and eastbound and northbound in that area. So if you live not too far from here, that's going to be a slow go for you. Ryan? Week. And it's on those days. You're going to know what I'm doing.
Just
the
kidding,
fall
it's 90.
things. All right, so here's a live look outside. Looking a little stormy as Trent is tracking all of those showers across our radar. So this is one of those areas that's definitely dealing with the weather. Mile marker 130, so it's close to the Daniels Parkway exit. Doesn't look like it's slowing down traffic northbound or southbound, so that is the good news. Still plenty of crashes to talk about over in Lee County, so let's get right to it. A couple of the different ones that we have, if we could maybe get this in the right place. It looks like my traffic computer wanted to go haywire. Let's take this full and I'm going to move out of the way for you. It's ready for work, Trent. Traffic has been rough the past couple of mornings. Right now, not looking nearly as terrible, but still dark and stormy over here. I-75 near mile marker 130. So that's going to be the Daniels Parkway area. Northbound, southbound, we're seeing typical congestion. So no crashes here. And it looks like the on-ramp flowing just fine. Switching over to maps, we can show you a couple of the trouble spots that you might run into. This has been one of them for well over a half hour. Tree line and also Dartington Drive. We do have delays significantly building up southbound along Tree Line Avenue. Also want to point out Daniels Parkway westbound looking very slow. Still dealing with this crash here as well. This is going to be State Road 82 in Daniels Parkway. We were seeing delays in all directions. I'm starting to see a little bit more green, so that's a sign this is clearing up. Headed on over to a different portion of Lee County. We do have one crash. This is going to be Delivery Way near Domestic Avenue, just north of Alico Road. No residual delays along Alico Road. And we do have a crash I-75 southbound. This is at the exit of Corkscrew Road. That's mile marker 123. I'm not seeing terrible delays on Corkscrew Road in either direction, but I do want to point out that southbound lanes are looking very slow. Ryan? I'm seeing it right here along the interstate. You can see it. It's even dripping off of the lens for our live FDOT camera. This is mile marker 132, so about 2 miles just south of the Daniels Parkway exit. Traffic still zooming on by, so we're not tracking any crashes along this portion of the interstate. Switching over to maps, though, a couple of different crashes I want to go over. We do have one off of the interstate. This is going to be Dartington Drive and Tree Line Avenue. This one's been holding on for almost an hour now. Tree Line Avenue southbound picking up the brunt of those delays. Also want to point out in this area, northbound, southbound of the interstate is looking very slow. That's possibly because of the wet roads that they're dealing with right now. Head south just a little bit. We do have a crash. This is just north of Alico Road, Delivery Way near Domestic Avenue. Not seeing too bad of delays because of that crash. We are seeing some delays here, though. I-75 southbound at Corkscrew Road. That's mile marker 123. It's on the exit ramp. I'm not seeing any major delays either westbound or eastbound along Corkscrew Road, but southbound of the interstate is looking slow. Time right now is 8:50. You're watching Fox 4 Morning News. Live cameras. This is going to be mile marker 132, so not too far from the Daniels Parkway exit. Northbound, southbound, it is wet out there, but at least we're not seeing any major delays along the interstate right here. It's a bit of a different story in different parts of Southwest Florida with the rain plus a couple of crashes. So right here for more than an hour now, Tree Line Avenue southbound has been almost always in the orange or even red at times due to a crash. This is at the intersection of Dartington Drive. Not the only crash that we're tracking either. Headed on over just north of Alico Road, we do have a crash at the intersection of Delivery Way near Domestic Avenue. Not seeing any residual delays along Alico Road. Also, things looking a little bit better right here. This is I-75 southbound Corkscrew Road. We did have a crash, maybe seeing a slight delay as you are headed eastbound right here along Corkscrew Road. So you can see that orange right there. But I-75 itself, northbound and southbound, looking just fine right there. Ryan? Down a couple more before we can get to that nice weather, and also not so nice weather. This is going to be a live look outside with our FDOT camera, mile marker 134. So as you're getting closer to the Colonial Boulevard exit, you can even see Topgolf off in the distance. Hard to tell though with the rain that is coming down. It's a little hazy because of that, but northbound, southbound, we're not tracking any issues even with the rain. Switching on over to maps, it's a bit of a different story. I want to head on over to the North Fort Myers area where we are tracking one crash. Orange Grove Boulevard, Hancock Bridge Parkway. No reported roadblock with this crash, and we're not picking up any major delays, at least if you're driving that way. Headed on over to the Collier County area. Excuse me, we do have one crash. This is right off of I-75. It's Quail Village Way, right around Valwood Drive. So if you live in that area, it's more residential. That could slow you down, but at least it's not impacting any of the major highways. And then further down into Collier County, we do have a crash, US 41 and Courthouse Shadows Drive. Right now, US 41 northbound, southbound, completely in the green. That's your morning traffic. And then whoosh, we had all of that rain just dump right here. I-75 mile marker 134. Hard to see, but this is where the Topgolf nets should be, but it looks so hazy. That's because the rain's coming down so hard that visibility is not great. So northbound, southbound, I'm not tracking any crashes right there, but take it nice and easy. We are seeing delays as people start to hit the brakes as that rain is coming down. No crashes to report, actually, as we hit the decline of the morning rush hour. A couple of different traffic incidents that you need to know about. Now, we do have a roadblock due to some emergency repairs. This is down in Collier County. Again, this is going to be 5th Avenue westbound between Goodlet Frank Road and 9th Street. So do watch out this area. There are detours in place. Headed on over to Alligator Alley. We are also dealing with the road blockage. That's because there's something in the middle of the road. This will only impact you if you are headed over from the East Coast to our side of the state. So northbound, this is close to exit 80. So that's right near the Florida State Road 29 area. Again, just a short distance is seeing a delay. Ryan. Forward to that nice weather. Can't help but think that this weather coming down here at Daniels Parkway right off of I-75 is not helping with this crash. It looks like we have a single vehicle crash that went off the road and inside of that little embankment right there. We have a road ranger there along with a deputy, so we're working to get more information on this crash, but it's off to the side of the road, not causing any major delays. Switching on over to maps, we could take a zoomed in look, show you the area. Just typical congestion, Daniels Parkway westbound and eastbound. As soon as we get more information, of course, we'll let you know on air and online if it's something you need to worry about as you're headed out the door. Outside of that, no other crashes to report, but we do have some long-term construction down in Collier. This is emergency road repairs. It's US 41 5th Avenue westbound, and this is going to be between Goodlet Frank Road and 9th Street. So this portion right here, highlighted in purple, is where you're going to run into some delays. Watch out for any detour signs that are in place. Also, anyone headed on over from the East Coast, so I-75 northbound or Alligator Alley, we do have an object in the road. It's causing a slight delay. It's a slow go, but it's passable. That's your morning traffic.